Hey, beautiful people, this is your girl and your host, Kayla Rose. Welcome to another episode of Soul Seed, the show which is dedicated to taking you to new levels of you as usual. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys have had a good week and hopefully you're going to have an even better week starting from tomorrow. So, as I stated before, I will be doing the final part of the Balancing Health and Hormone series today, and I will be discussing progesterone with you. So, before we get started, let's see what's on our screens. So, the number is 07956 911 197, and contact that number if you would like to advertise with Relax Radio. If you have a business, a service, or product which you would like to promote to the Relax Radio listeners and viewers, please do get in touch. It is a £1 introductory offer, so I think that's a really good deal, right? Make sure you guys take advantage. And it seems that we're doing red again today on the screen. So, feeling the red still. Are you guys still liking, or are you liking in general these live streams using StreamYard? Obviously, everyone on Relax Radio is trying to up their game. If I didn't tell you guys before, and I'm sure I did, that the theme of the year, or my theme of the year, is level up. So we are trying to continue in that vein. So, progesterone. So, I would say, and I think in general, progesterone is one of the least discussed sex hormones out of the three, right? So, we've discussed estrogen, testosterone, and now we're on to progesterone. And the group or the demographic who may be most aware of this hormone, progesterone, are unfortunately women who may be struggling with fertility issues. You guys may unfortunately be painfully aware of how important progesterone can be to the body. And so I'm going to be getting into it with you guys today. So it is a steroid based hormone, and it plays a very important role for women in their menstrual cycles, and also particularly in the early stages of pregnancy. So guys, don't click off quite yet, because it does have an effect on the guys as well. And guys produce progesterone from their manly areas, and women produce progesterone from their ovaries. However, it's also produced in some other areas as well, which I'm going to just go through with you guys. So, the adrenal glands is another area in the body where progesterone is produced, and it's also produced during pregnancy from the placenta as well. And particularly with men, progesterone drops as they age. That's one of the reasons why a man can have some issues with his progesterone levels. And for men, particularly, they need progesterone to aid their production of testosterone. So if you are a man who's experiencing low testosterone, progesterone could have something to do with that as well. And it also helps your friends, your swimming friends, to mature. So if you are in a situation where you and your partner are taking that step to create a family, then that's going to be really important for the man to make sure his friends are working correctly. So let's speak about some of the symptoms that we can experience if we are struggling with progesterone levels, excuse me. And I'm going to start with low progesterone first. So for ladies, it's going to be issues with your menstrual cycle. So that could be irregularity or very heavy cycles. That could be something to do with low progesterone. We also already touched on pregnancy and how important progesterone is to that. So if you struggle with issues of miscarrying, possibly that's something you may have experienced in the past. or early labor as well. If you are carrying a pregnancy and there's a risk or potential of you going into early labor, it could be because your progesterone levels are low. A failure to release an egg during ovulation. So the key date there, or the key number there, is day 14 in a lady's cycle. That's when you're supposed to release your egg. If there are issues with your progesterone levels, then you may not be releasing that egg. General infertility issues, also mood changes such as depression and anxiety. And that one seems to come up quite a lot. A lot of these hormonal issues or imbalances in these particular hormones can cause mood issues. And usually, depression and anxiety are the top two. You could be having hot flushes, possibly issues with weight gain, and you could also experience fibroids or endometriosis and a loss of libido as well. For the guys, they may experience erectile dysfunction, muscle loss, or fatigue. So, those are some of the symptoms that men can experience if they're suffering with low progesterone. Now, let's move on to high progesterone. Some of the symptoms associated with that, yet again, can be anxiety, bloating, and this may be a particular thing for the ladies out there because you use progesterone in the second half of your cycle. So possibly bloating a lot throughout your cycles. Depression comes up again as well. Reduced sex drive or libido is something you can experience. So there's some similar ones here or identical ones here with the low progesterone as well. Weight fluctuations, so you're going to have weight issues again. And at the extreme end of it, there could be two particular conditions that may be experienced. One is called congenital adrenal hyperplasia, and the other one is called ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. So, if those are anything that you're experiencing, of course, go seek professional medical help or possibly get online, try and source some information and see if any of your symptoms are matching up. And what else could possibly be experienced for the men? So, low progesterone, or high progesterone, apologies, you may have low testosterone because it causes within the man's body to create more estrogen. So some of these are linking up. Guys, go back and check out my previous lives. I think it's the last couple. Go check out the previous lives on estrogen and testosterone to see what the symptoms are if you have imbalances in any of those particular hormones. You could also have an enlarged prostate, and that is quite important when we're thinking that prostate cancer is something that a lot of men are potentially facing today. So you want to be taking care of that area. You guys may also experience depression and fatigue as well. So those are some of the symptoms for men and women experience high and low progesterone. So what are some of the tips that you can follow or try and incorporate which may help? And as usual, top ones are always, or they're always on most tips lists: reducing stress levels, getting adequate amounts of sleep, and lifestyle and healthy diet. And mainly the tips that I'm going to be giving you guys are food tips. So these are mainly geared towards increasing progesterone. Of course, balance is key. I've said that before throughout this. Balance is key. in Health and Hormone series, balance is key in just having a healthy body and a healthy state of mind. So it's really about finding balance between all of these areas. So number one is going to be beans. Beans are going to help to balance out those progesterone levels. Also, broccoli often are green leafy vegetables come up in most healthy tips lists. So you want to be getting that broccoli in if you can, and also Brussels sprouts as well. I know quite a few people don't like Brussels sprouts. I never used to like them either, but my grandma, she is a master chef, and she can pretty much make anything taste good. So she got me on the Brussels sprouts wave. Also, cabbage is something that is going to have a positive effect on your progesterone levels. Cauliflower, kale, and nuts as well. So getting those healthy nuts in, and pumpkin. So those are some of the foods that you can eat to try and balance out those progesterone levels. And particularly for the women, something else that I would recommend is something called chasteberry, also known as Vitex. And this is something, it's a natural supplement which you can take, which can have a positive effect on this particular hormone. So I would definitely recommend you guys go out and check that out. It's something that I do take. I'm running low at the moment, and I do need to top up on my own supply. So if you feel that you're having any kind of issues in this area, or just with those sex hormones in general, possibly that supplement may be useful for you. But please do go and do your own research or get medical advice if you need to. That is the disclaimer. So this is not really a long one today. That concludes the Balance in Health and Hormone series. I hope it's given some useful information for you guys. I think that hormones and hormone imbalances is something which has a major effect on our health for a lot of people, and they're not aware of it. So we've discussed the top 5 imbalances, and that started with cortisol, which is our stress hormone, insulin, which has to do with sugar intake, particularly estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone is our group of sex hormones. And there are more hormonal imbalances out there as well, but that's beyond the scope of this series. So if there is any particular hormones you guys would like me to dive into a little bit deeper, then please do leave a comment, and I will possibly try and follow that up on a show in the future. Tomorrow I will be back with you guys. I'm going to be discussing lifting of lockdown and what does the future look like with COVID-19. What is post COVID-19 future looking like? And just engaging with you guys about how you are enjoying your old found freedom, we could say. So hopefully you guys are indulging a bit and enjoying it. So I'm going to leave things there for today. Thank you for joining me. As I already said, I will be back tomorrow at 9 p.m. I wish you guys a really good start to your week. And this has been your girl and your host, Kayla Rose. And this has been Soul Seed, the show which is dedicated to taking you to new levels of you. As usual, much love and stay blessed.